It was a slow evening. The sun was almost gone behind the trees, and the sky was turning orange. On the side of an old highway, a small cafe stood with dim yellow lights. Outside the cafe, 5 bikers were sitting together. Their big black motorcycles were parked in a line, shining under the streetlight. These bikers were known in the area. People were scared of them because of their tattoos and loud engines. But in reality, they were calm men who mostly minded their own business. They had come to the cafe for tea, snacks, and a quiet break from a long ride. The leader of the group, a tall man with a heavy beard, was joking with the others when something unexpected happened. From the far end of the road, they heard the sound of small footsteps. Light, fast, almost like someone running in fear. Before anyone could understand what was happening, a little girl, no more than 8 or 9 years old, came running toward them. Her face was covered in dust. Her hair was messy, as if she had run a long distance. Her eyes were full of tears. She kept looking behind her again and again, as if someone was chasing her. She finally reached the bikers and stopped in front of them. She was breathing fast. Her hands were shaking. Then, in a scared, broken voice, she cried, "Please, please help me. He's coming." The bikers froze. The leader stood up immediately. "Hey, calm down. Who's coming?" he asked gently. The girl did not answer. She only pointed behind her with trembling fingers. "He's coming. He will find me. Please don't let him take me." Everyone sitting outside the cafe became silent. The workers inside the cafe came out to see what was going on. The leader biker knelt down to reach her eye level. "What happened? Why are you running? Who is this person you are scared of?" But the girl couldn't speak clearly. She kept crying. Fear was controlling her every word. Her clothes were dirty. Her knees had small cuts. Her feet looked like she had been running barefoot for a long time. One of the bikers brought her a glass of water. But even while taking the glass, she kept turning her head, checking the road again and again. Her eyes were waiting for a shadow, a figure, a face she was terrified of. The leader tried again. "Can you tell us your name?" She wiped her tears and whispered, "My name is Sarah." "Okay, Sarah, who is coming after you?" he asked softly before Sarah could answer. Something made her step back in fear. A dark-colored car appeared far down the empty road. It was moving slowly, almost too slowly. As if the driver was searching for someone, Sarah grabbed the biker's jacket tightly and hid behind him. Her small body was shaking so much that even the biker felt it. "That's him," she whispered in a voice filled with terror. "He's looking for me." The bikers looked at each other. Something was wrong. Very wrong. The car stopped near the cafe. A man stepped out. He was tall, wearing black clothes. His face looked calm, but his eyes were sharp, dangerous. He scanned the whole area slowly, like a hunter searching for his prey. Sarah hid completely behind the bikers and covered her face. The man started walking toward the cafe. Each step he took increased the tension in the air. The leader biker stepped forward to block his way. "Evening," the man said with a fake smile. "I'm looking for a little girl. She ran away from me. She's my niece." His voice sounded sweet, but something felt wrong. Too wrong? Behind the biker, Sarah whispered, "He's not my uncle. Please don't let him take me." The bikers heard her. They felt her fear, and the suspense around the cafe became heavy. Like a storm about to explode, the leader biker stared at the man and said slowly, "Why is she running from you?" The man's smile faded. The cafe area turned silent, filled with tension and danger, and that is where the real story began. The air around the cafe grew tight and heavy. The little girl Sarah stood behind the bikers, her small hands clutching the leader's jacket as if he was the only wall between her and danger. Her breath was still shaky, but she was trying her best to stay quiet. The man in black stared at the bikers with cold eyes. "I said," he repeated slowly, "I am looking for my niece. She ran away. It's a family matter." The leader biker, who everyone called Ryder, did not move from his place. His voice was calm, but firm. "If she is your niece," he said, "why is she so scared of you?" The man's jaw tightened. She is just a child, he replied. Children get scared easily. Ryder didn't look convinced. None of the bikers did. Something about the man felt off. His eyes were too sharp, too calculating. His smile didn't reach his eyes. And most of all, the fear on Sarah's face was real. One of the bikers, a soft-hearted man named Sam, leaned down to talk to Sarah. "Sarah," he whispered gently, "are you sure this man is not your uncle?" Sarah shook her head quickly and grabbed Sam's arm. "He hurts my mom," she whispered, "and he wants to take me away." Sam's eyes widened. He slowly stood up and signaled Ryder with a subtle nod. Ryder stepped forward again. "Look, man," he said to the stranger, "the girl is scared. Step back a little." The man's fake smile broke completely. His eyes turned sharp. "This is none of your business," he snapped. Ryder crossed his arms. "It became our business when a crying kid ran to us for help." The man stared angrily, but before things got worse, two people from the cafe stepped out. They whispered to Ryder, "Should we call the police?" Ryder shook his head for now. He wanted to understand the situation first. He didn't want to jump to conclusions without hearing the girl's story. The man clenched his fists but stayed quiet, watching the bikers like a hunter waiting for a chance to attack. Ryder turned back to Sarah. "Tell me what happened," he said softly, but loud enough for his group to hear. Sarah wiped her face. Her small body was still shaking, but she slowly began to speak. She told them she lived just 2 streets away with her mother. Her mother worked small jobs and didn't earn much. Life was always hard for them, but they managed. Then one day, this man came into their life. Sarah said her mother knew him from the neighborhood. He started helping them with groceries and money. At first, he acted kind and polite. But everything changed slowly. He started coming every day, Sarah whispered. He told my mom that she should depend on him. He didn't like when she talked to other people. He took her phone sometimes. He shouted at her. Ryder felt anger grow inside him. Sam bent down and asked, "And what about you, Sarah? What did he do to you?" Sarah hugged herself. "He watches me all the time. He tells my mom that I should go with him. Yesterday he tried to hold my hand and said he wants to take me away." Her voice cracked. "Today, he pushed my mom. She fell. I ran out of the house. He chased me. I ran here because I saw people." Ryder closed his eyes for a moment. The truth was clear now. This was not a family issue. This was danger. When Ryder looked back, the man was standing still, but his eyes were burning with anger. Sarah continued softly, "Mama is hurt. She was crying. I don't know if she is okay." Ryder's heart tightened. He placed his hand gently on Sarah's head. "Don't worry," he said. "We are here now. We won't let anything happen to you or your mom." The man suddenly took a step forward. "That's enough," he shouted. "Give me the girl." But the bikers moved as one unit, forming a shield around Sarah. Sam whispered, "We need to take her home." "Something is wrong." Ryder nodded slowly. "We're taking her back. And this man better not follow us." The man's face changed. Something dark flashed in his eyes. The real danger was only beginning. And the bikers could feel it.
The atmosphere around the cafe was turning darker by the second. The sun had disappeared completely now, and the dull streetlights cast long shadows across the ground. A light wind blew, carrying dust from the road and making the scene even more tense. Sarah stood tightly between the bikers, her small hands gripping Sam's arm. The man across from them watched the group with eyes full of secret anger. He tried to act calm, but his fingers kept twitching. His jaw kept tightening. Anyone could see he was losing patience. Ryder stepped forward again, keeping the others behind him. "We are taking the girl home," he said firmly. "If you are telling the truth, the police can confirm everything there." The man's face darkened. "You don't understand," he said in a low voice. "You are interfering in something you should not touch." Ryder didn't blink. "She is a child. And she is scared of you. That is enough for us." The man suddenly laughed, a strange cold laugh. "You bikers think you are heroes," he said. "You don't know who you are dealing with." Sam felt Sarah press her face into his arm to avoid seeing the man. The more she hid, the more obvious it became that this was no misunderstanding. This man was dangerous, maybe more dangerous than the bikers first thought. The people around the cafe were whispering, recording the scene with their phones, staying cautious but curious. Every eye was on the man and the bikers. The man took a step closer. "Give her to me now," he said. "I am warning you." Ryder lifted his hand, ready to stop him. "We are not giving her to anyone until we know the truth." The man's eyes turned sharp, like a wild animal cornered. "You have no idea what this girl has done," he said loudly, even though Sarah clearly looked innocent and terrified. Sarah shook her head quickly. "No. I didn't do anything. Please don't listen to him," she whispered. Sam bent down and whispered, "We believe you. Don't worry." But the man wasn't finished. He stepped back for a moment and pulled out his phone as if to call someone. But instead of dialing, he stared at the bikers with a smirk. Ryder could feel something was wrong. "Who are you calling?" he asked sharply. "No one you want to meet," the man replied. Ryder didn't wait. He signaled two bikers to stay with Sarah, while he and Sam moved toward the man. "Put the phone down," Ryder said. The man ignored him. "You think you can stop me? I have connections. You people are nothing." The bikers stood in front of him, blocking his path. Ryder spoke slowly, "If you want to say something, say it to the police. Not to us." Hearing the word police, the man's eyes flared. He suddenly pushed Ryder's shoulder, trying to pass through. Ryder didn't move. Sam stepped forward. Another biker joined them. A full wall of strength stood in front of the man. "You should leave," Sam warned. The man's voice cracked with anger. "You will all regret this." He turned toward Sarah again, pointing a finger at her. "You are coming with me. This is the last time I am asking." Sarah screamed and hid behind the bikers. The entire cafe gasped. Ryder lost his patience. "Don't shout at her," he roared. A moment passed. A silent, deadly moment. The man stared at them, breathing hard. His face was red with rage. His hands curled into fists. But then he did something none of them expected. He stepped back slowly, gave a cold smile, and said in a soft, threatening voice, "This is not over." He turned around, walked to his car, and got inside. But instead of driving away, he parked the car a little farther down the road, as if waiting, watching. Ryder exhaled slowly. "This man won't give up easily. We need to move." Sam picked up Sarah gently. "It's okay, we are taking you home." Sarah nodded, though her eyes stayed fixed on the dark car in the distance. She whispered, "He never stops. He always comes back." The bikers exchanged serious glances. The danger wasn't gone. It had only stepped into the shadows, waiting for the next move. The bikers knew they could not waste another second. The little girl was trembling in fear, and the dangerous man was still watching them from his dark car at the end of the road. Every moment felt like a warning. Every breath carried tension. Ryder looked at his group. "We're taking her home," he said quietly. "But we must stay alert. He's not done." Sam nodded and placed a protective hand on Sarah's shoulder. The other bikers gathered close, forming a tight circle around her as they moved toward their bikes. The cafe people watched in silence, unsure of what would happen next. Ryder turned to Sarah. "Can you ride with me? I'll keep you safe." Sarah nodded slowly, though fear still shadowed her eyes. They helped her onto Ryder's motorcycle, wrapping a jacket around her so she wouldn't fall. Sam climbed onto his bike, ready for anything. The engines roared to life, loud, powerful, and full of warning. The man in the car watched them with dark eyes, his fingers gripping the steering wheel. His face was twisted with rising anger as the bikers prepared to leave. Ryder shouted to his group, "Stay in formation. No one rides alone." The bikers lined up like soldiers. Then, with a single gesture from Ryder, they began riding down the road, slowly, carefully, toward Sarah's house. But as they moved away from the cafe, the man's car engine suddenly started. The car rolled forward, creeping behind them like a predator stalking its prey. Sarah clutched Ryder tightly from behind. "He's following us," she whispered, her voice shaking. Ryder looked in his mirror. "I see him," he said calmly, but his heart beat harder. Sam moved his motorcycle to the back of the line, acting as a shield. "I'll block him," Sam said loudly. But the man didn't stop. He kept coming closer, inch by inch, tailing them down the quiet street. The night around them felt heavier, colder, as if even the air sensed danger. Ryder stayed focused. "Sarah, don't look back," he said softly. She nodded and buried her face against his jacket. Soon they reached a narrower lane leading toward small houses. Sarah pointed with a shaking hand. "That one, the yellow door, that's my home." Ryder slowed down, and the other bikers formed a protective half-circle around the entrance. Sam parked sideways in the lane to block any sudden attack from the man's car. The man stopped his vehicle at a distance, keeping the headlights on. The bright white lights hit the bikers like a threat, but no one moved back. Ryder lifted Sarah off the bike and held her hand gently. "Stay behind us," he said. As they approached the house, they noticed that the front door was slightly open. A strange silence hung around the place, except for the faint sound of someone crying inside. Sam felt a chill run down his spine. "Something's wrong," he whispered. Ryder pushed the door open slowly. The small living room was in a mess, chairs knocked over, a broken cup on the floor. The curtains were half torn. Everything looked like there had been a struggle. Then they heard a weak voice. "Sarah? Sarah, is that you?" Sarah broke free from Ryder's hand and ran inside. "Mama." A woman lay on the floor, holding her side, struggling to sit up. Tears ran down her face. She looked pale and hurt. The bikers rushed in after Sarah. Ryder bent beside the woman. What happened? Are you okay?" The mother wiped her tears. "That man, he came again. He got angry when I told him to leave. He pushed me. He said he would take Sarah no matter what. She ran off. I tried to stop him, but I fell." Her voice cracked. Sarah hugged her mother tightly, and the mother held her back with trembling hands. Outside the house, the dark car's engine grew louder again. Ryder stood up and clenched his fists. "He's here," he said. "He followed us." Sam moved toward the door. "We need to call the police now." But before anyone could dial a number, they saw the man stepping out of his car, walking toward the house with slow, confident steps. His shadow grew long on the ground. His face carried a deadly smirk. Ryder whispered to his group, "Get ready. He's not leaving without a fight." The real confrontation was moments away. The street outside Sarah's small house was now completely silent, except for the slow footsteps of the man walking toward them. Ryder stood at the doorway, blocking the entrance with his large frame. Sam and the other bikers spread out behind him, forming a protective wall. Inside, Sarah held her injured mother tightly. The mother kept glancing toward the door with fear in her eyes. "He came back," she whispered. "I knew he would." Ryder didn't look away from the approaching man. "He won't touch you or your daughter," he said calmly, but his voice carried a quiet anger. The man stopped a few feet away. The dim streetlight shined on his face, showing a mix of rage and confidence. "So," he said slowly, "you brought her home. Good. Saves me the trouble." Sam stepped forward. "Don't take another step," he warned. The man smirked. "I don't need your permission. This girl belongs with me." Ryder's fists tightened. "She belongs with her mother. And if you were truly family, she wouldn't be terrified of you." The man didn't answer. Instead, he gave a stiff laugh. "You people don't know what you're talking about. That woman inside owes me money. A lot of money. And the girl is my guarantee." Inside the house, the mother flinched at his words. Ryder heard her whisper, "It's not true. He lies. Please don't believe him." Ryder stepped forward. "Let's hear from her," he said, pointing behind him. The mother slowly sat up, leaning on the wall for support. "I don't owe him anything," she said. "He forced his way into our life. I tried to push him out. But he wouldn't go." Her voice shook but stayed brave. "He used to bring groceries and say it was a gift. I didn't ask for it. Then he demanded money. When I said I couldn't pay, he started threatening us." The man's face tightened. "She's lying," he snapped. But Sarah suddenly stood beside her mother, wiping her tears. "She's not lying," Sarah said. "You wanted to take me away. You said Mama doesn't deserve me." The bikers exchanged shocked looks. Ryder asked, "Is that true?" The man didn't answer. His silence told them everything. The mother continued in a weak voice, "I tried to stay away from him, but he started locking the door, taking my phone, scaring Sarah. Today, he tried to take her. I fought back, but he pushed me. I thought I would lose her forever." Ryder's jaw tightened so much it hurt. Sam looked at the man and said, "You should leave before this gets worse." But the man stepped closer instead. "You think you can stop me? You don't know what I can do." Ryder moved in front of him again. "You are not taking one more step toward this house." The man's eyes turned wild, full of frustration and fury. "I said she's coming with me." Ryder didn't move. The man raised his hand as if to hit Ryder, but before the strike landed, another biker grabbed his wrist tightly. "Wrong move," the biker growled. The man shouted and tried to pull his arm back, but the bikers had surrounded him. He looked left and right, trapped. Ryder leaned in close. "Listen carefully," he said. "You've scared a child, hurt a woman, and followed us here. This ends tonight." The man's voice trembled with anger. "You think you can keep me away? The police won't do anything. I have people." Ryder cut him off. "Then let the police come and see for themselves." Sam pulled out his phone and dialed emergency services. Hearing the word police, the man panicked. "No, you can't do that." He tried to break free again, but the bikers held him tightly. Inside the house, Sarah hugged her mother again. "Mama, it's okay," she whispered. "They won't let him hurt us." Her mother cried softly, not from fear this time, but from relief. Outside, the man struggled like a trapped animal. "You'll regret this," he screamed. But the bikers didn't move. They stood firm. Ryder finally spoke. "The only one who will regret anything is you." As the sirens began echoing from far away, the man's face turned pale. His control, his power, everything he believed he had, was slipping away. The truth was out. And justice was finally on its way. The distant sound of police sirens grew louder with every passing second. The night air seemed to vibrate as the bikers tightened their hold on the man. His face had turned pale, and his earlier confidence had vanished like smoke in the wind. Ryder stood in front of him, arms crossed, eyes cold. "This is over," he said. But the man refused to accept defeat. He twisted and pulled, trying to free himself from the biker's grip. "You don't understand," he shouted. "She is mine. I have rights." Sam pushed him back firmly. "You have no right to scare a child," he said. "No right to hurt her mother. And no right to decide their life." Inside the house, Sarah and her mother watched the scene through the doorway. Sarah held her mother's hand tightly. Her mother's eyes were filled with fear and hope at the same time. Fear that the man might break free, hope that his nightmare was finally ending. The man's voice turned desperate. "You can't do this. I'll destroy all of you. You don't know who I am." Ryder stepped closer and said with calm strength, "I don't need to know who you are. I only see what you've done." For a moment, everything became silent. The bikers, the trembling mother, the frightened child, even the wind seemed to stop. Then the man made one final mistake. He shoved one of the bikers aside and lunged toward the house, shouting, "Sarah, come here now." Sarah screamed, and her mother wrapped her arms around her. "Stay away from my daughter," the mother cried. Ryder reacted instantly. He rushed forward, grabbing the man by the arm and pulling him back with force. The man struggled wildly, but Ryder held him tight like an anchor. Sam joined in, pinning the man's other arm. "You're done," he yelled. The man thrashed and shouted, "You bikers think you're heroes. You're nothing." But the bikers didn't respond. They simply held him firmly, waiting for the police to arrive. And then, blue and red lights flashed across the walls of the small house. 2 police cars stopped at the entrance of the lane. Officers rushed out, hands on their belts, scanning the scene. Ryder stepped back while still keeping hold of the man. "Officers," he said, "this man has been threatening a woman and her daughter. He hurt the mother. He tried to take the girl." The police officer looked at the man, who was still struggling. "Is this true?" the officer asked sharply. The mother stepped forward weakly, but bravely. "Yes," she said. "He forced himself into our life. He threatened us. He tried to take my child." Her voice broke, but her courage did not. Sarah peeked from behind her mother and said softly, "He scared me, every day." The officers exchanged serious looks. One officer walked up to the man. "You're under arrest," he declared. "Hands behind your back." The man shouted in rage. "No! You can't do this. They're lying. This kid belongs to me." But no one listened anymore. The truth was already spoken. The officers handcuffed him and pushed him toward the car.